This is the Hot Tub Professor. What we're going to talk about is filter housings, pressurized type filter housings. This particular one is a waterway. And the things that you need to know to make sure that you get the right filter housing. This is going to be kind of a generic video, but it'll work for a lot of these different kinds of filter housings. One of the things you need to know is that it is a pressurized type filter housing. What that means is you've got a nut that you screw off like that, and it's got a lid that goes on it. There's two different brands that you're going to find in most tubs. This is a waterway brand, and there's also a rainbow brand. The rainbow, the lid is going to be usually tan in color, but they will interchange. They're generally the same size. Another thing that you got to know is you got to know the height of it. This particular one is 16 1/4 from the bottom to the top edge of this lip right here. But if you just measure even from there to the top edge of the entire filter, it's going to be about 17 1/4, somewhere in that neighborhood, to the top of the nut if it was screwed on. The other thing you need to know is what the size of the plumbing is. This particular one is 1.5 inches on the in and the outside. So notice there is an in and an out. So it means water goes in on the inside, water comes out on the outside. If you measure across that, it's about 1 7/8, which makes it an 1.5 inch fitting. They also make 2-inch fittings on this on both sides. The other thing you could do is if they didn't have an 1.5 inches, if I didn't have 1.5 inches, you could buy a 2-inch and put a 2-inch to 1.5 inch bushing in it. The other thing we're going to do is I'm going to take the nut off. And to get your old one out, if it was cracked or had a problem, of course you got to cut the plumbing off, because if you don't, the nut won't come off. I want to measure across this nut to the inside. So the hole size is going to have to be between 6 3/4 and 6 7/8. About 6 3/4 would be just about right, but that's the nut size, and you can see that. But you're going to have to cut it off flush to get the old one out. So if you put that nut back on, the other thing you want to do is you want to seal around this nut with silicone. We offer silicone in tubes in our store, in big tubes. It's going to take a bunch to seal this thing up, and I'm going to show you what it looks like on the inside. So what we have here is you have the nut, and it has a release. You have to pull that up. The rainbow one has a little side release and a little catch. But what this does is it catches here like as a lock to keep it from backing itself off, because there's a lot of pressure right here. So if you pull this nut off, we also have the nuts in the store. You can buy just these, because these will get cracked from freeze damage, that kind of stuff. 6 1/8 is what that hole size is on the top, and the thread width is about 6 5/8. Then you pull the cap off. We have the caps in the store as well, and there's a bleeder screw right here, and then it has a filter in it. That's a standard, what I call a 2375 filter. That's a 25 square foot standard filter. It fits a lot of different hot tubs. It fits the rainbow and the waterway. And then if you measure inside this hole right here, which would be the outside of this, it's going to measure just a hair over 6 1/4 to keep it simple. There is a big O-ring here that's lubed, and you can see it's got lube on it. So to put it together, you would stick this in, you would stick that on and press it down. You would put the nut on like this right here, and you would twist it and lock it into place. Ta-da, a done deal. So to reiterate, you need to know that yours is a waterway or a rainbow. It doesn't matter which one really. They interchange. The hole size is going to be the same. And a lot of times this thing's mounted in a bucket that's mounted in the tub. So basically they cut a hole out, and there's a bucket that this sits down inside of. If that's the case, if the bucket's broken, look for the bucket in the store as well. You need to seal this, and some of them even have, the bucket will have a drain hole, so when you pull this out, the water gets inside the bucket, and there's a hose that'll drain out. Some of them don't have the hose on them, just drains in the bottom of the cabinet, and that's no good. You need to know the height of it, and you need to know the hole size in and out. This particular one is 16 1/4 inches tall to 17 1/4, depends on which way you measure it, and it's got 1.5 inches in and out. And the hole size was just a hair over 6. We're going to look at the hole size again. And this is what I'm talking about. It's tight with the filter housing, so you've got to make sure that you cut the plumbing off to get it out. So 6 3/4. Come and get her today. I am the Hot Tub Professor. Look in the store and buy with confidence. Just double check your measurements. Don't guess. Know, and you'll get the right parts every time. I'm the Hot Tub Professor.